Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to another episode here on my Challenge Your Norm podcast, where today we're going to set ourselves up for success for 2025, or whenever you're listening to this podcast episode, whenever you're ready for a new change in your life, because we are going to be focusing on designing your dream reality and allowing you to switch into living this life today. I have created a journal that you get when you join my January Transformation Challenge, or whenever you join any one of my monthly challenges. It's going to be incorporated into the community membership. And it is basically a journal that takes you through getting narrowly focused clarity on what it is that you want within all these different areas of your life, writing a scripting letter, creating a vision board, and every single day stepping into this dream life reality of yours through different questions and prompts that are going to help you explore different areas of your life and figuring out how to actually apply this to your current life today to then manifest that dream reality into your life today. And I am freaking excited to be going through a lot of these different exercises and tools and set you up for success for Dream 2025, because I do not believe that there's anything that isn't possible. I believe that when we get clear in our minds and we focus in, we hone in, and we are just so freaking committed to creating the life that we deep down want to create, and we just do not see failure as an option, failure will not be an option, and we're going to step into that life or something greater than we could have ever imagined. Because oftentimes it's like when we set an intention to want to do something, maybe it doesn't turn out the way we exactly had thought we wanted it to. But oftentimes I've noticed when I put in my action, I play my part, I put in the work, I keep visualizing, I keep dreaming and sharing what it is that I want with God, the universe, whatever you believe in, the energy surrounding us. Either that thing I wanted or something better, far better than I could have imagined, ends up happening. And some journeys I'm still in the midst of, and others have become my reality. And oftentimes I'll dream of something and then I'll realize, wait, yeah, it brought me joy in that moment, but the things that I actually thought were going to bring me happiness, I already had before as well. And as a part of this Design Your Dream Life journal, I have decided to include a meditation, actually 2 meditations, so you can choose which one you feel like. One is a little shorter and one like takes you through a little bit more of that dream life so that you in a meditative state can visualize and dream of this dream future. It's optional, but I meditate every day, and whoever is up for it is going to have the option to do that as well and really just live in that dream state every single day. So all of that to say, let's dive into it. Let's freaking dream big today and get freaking focused on what it is that we want for 2025. If you haven't listened to my previous podcast episode, in that episode, we go into reflecting on the past year and diving into our learnings and everything that can really help set ourselves up for how to plan this coming year in a way that is in such deep alignment with what it is that we deep down want. Because oftentimes we'll continuously take actions, do things, live in a certain way that maybe if we do a little bit of reflection on it, we actually realize that that one thing is taking away joy from us. It's draining us. And this other thing that I love to do, I'm not doing enough of it. This is the thing that energizes me. It's the thing that brings me success and adds the most value to my life. But I'm only doing this thing 5% of the time. And when we have that awareness, we can then choose to structure our life and our time spent differently. So if you feel called to go back and listen to that episode, I highly recommend that you go ahead and do so.
Hi, my name is Pernilla, and this is my Challenge Your Norm podcast. I'm absolutely obsessed with anything related to personal development. And well, to grow, we got to challenge our norm. And so on this podcast, we chat about life and how we can challenge our normal way of living it to make it greater than we could have ever imagined. Just one little belief, habit, bold move, and challenge at a time.
I want you to start opening up for the idea of thinking of yourself on December 31st. Either you can do whatever feels the most right to you. Either December 31st, 2025, as in about a year from today, or 3 years from today, if that makes you feel like you have more time to actually turn this dream life into your reality, or 5 years or 10 years. Choose whatever date, time in the future where you could really visualize yourself living your dream life. And if you're new to this podcast, or you simply have just not allowed yourself to dream before, maybe ever, or you haven't allowed yourself to dream big, right now, I want you to really allow all limitations to drop dead. They are not allowed here. Dream big. And if you're unsure of how to do that, I want you to potentially think of what the dreams were you had when you were little. Maybe you can think of some person you follow on Instagram that has something in their life that you think is kind of cool. Maybe they have a beautiful house, they have a beautiful family. You know, we obviously don't always see the entire reality of their life because it's Instagram, it's filtered, but maybe you think of an experience you want to have, a traveling adventure you want to go on, a way you want to work, a job you want to create or get the opportunity to have, or you have the side hustle that you want to turn into a business. What are the things that you would want in your life? That's where I want you to go with me on this conversation today. So really dream big. And I'll give you some different tools that you can use to start opening up to what that exactly looks like for you. And something that I take my challengers through in something I call the Dream Life Planner that I have, which is a different journal that all of my challengers have available to them at any time that they feel like applying that into their life, is reflecting on the 7 key areas of life. And you've probably heard of this. It's splitting up your life into these 7 different areas, and different people have different words for the different areas, but typically it's your personal growth, relationship, career, health and fitness, financial, recreational or fun area, and your contribution or / impact. You could take a piece of paper and rate each of these areas of your life as to what they've been at this year from a scale from 0 to 10. Let's say your finances have been on a high. You've been making more money than ever and you give it a 9, but you've kind of let go of your health and fitness and you don't feel very good in your body. So you give that a 4. You go through the entire list, and I'll name the different areas again so that you can write it if you want in your journal and pause me or just simply reflect on it. But the idea of this is that you write down the number of where you're currently at, and then underneath that, you write why that is. You can just do it short, or you can take hours to do this, up to you. But the idea is that you write down where you're at from a scale from 0 to 10 at this current moment, why that is, little explanation. And then beside that or underneath that, however you decide to write out your chart, I have it like printed in a book form for you in my challenges, but you can do this in any notebook. Below that, you write, what would it look like if your health and fitness was a 10 out of 10? It would look like you working out 5 days a week after work, even if it was just 30 minutes, and you would be eating healthy, nutritious whole foods. And in the weekends, yes, maybe you would have some extra delicious treats in the weekends, whatever that looks like for you. What would it look like if you were a 10 out of 10 in health and fitness in all these 6 other areas of your life? Your personal growth / spiritual, 2, relationships, 3, career / professional, 4, health and fitness, 5, financial, 6, recreation / fun, and 7, contribution / impact. Because once you have a general outlook of where you're at and what you want for your life, what it would look like if you were a 10 out of 10, maybe that will help you get a little bit more ideas as to what your dream life could look like. If you were a 10 out of 10 in all these areas of your life, what would your dream life then be able to look like? This is just to give you some tools and ideas to get you some inspiration and ideas as to what your dream life could look like. Because, you know, if you've never allowed yourself to dream before, or maybe it's been a while, or even if you've nerded out on what you want your dream life to look like as much as I have, it will continuously change throughout your life, or at least for me it has. And we can always get wiser on ourselves, right? So these are just some tools that you can use if you feel like it to get very clear. So once you have an idea of what your dream life look like, what I would love for you to do is write what some people call a scripting letter. A scripting letter is where you write in present tense, as if you were in some place and time in the future as your future self, writing to either an angel, any person you can think of. It can be writing to your younger self. You can really write it to anyone, but you write as if you are living this dream life. You are in the future. And you write down everything in as much detail as you would like. And you can make this short or you can make it long. What a lot of scripting experts share is that if you write this down and then read it every morning upon waking and every night when you go to bed at night, it rewires your brain to believe that you're already living in this future version now. And I've done this and I find it so very powerful. And there is something about when we get so super clear on what it is that we want and we hone our focus in on that. If we also take action, right? Like we can't just lay back and watch Netflix all day, even though we have this scripting letter. But when we start aligning our actions with that future version of ourselves, it's as if the puzzle pieces just somehow come together and things just magically appear and happen in our life. So write a scripting letter as if you are living in your future version of yourself, where you write down everything that you do from waking up in the morning to go to bed at night. Like you can go through a full day in the life, or you can just go through everything that you're experiencing in this future life. There's no right or wrong way for you to make your letter. I want you to just do it in the way that feels right to you. Something that I've often noticed with my challengers, everyone that comes into my challenges who want to start journaling, they feel like they're doing it wrong because sometimes they're just writing nonsense or they're just not doing it perfect, which a lot of the people who go in there are high achievers, so they want to do it well. But to me, there's no right or wrong way to journal. It's just about doing the thing that works for you, and it will maybe evolve over time. It's just doing the thing that feels right for you, and I want you to do that if you choose to go about doing this exercise as well. So write down everything that you see and experience and dream big. This is only for you. I don't want you to think that anyone, I don't want this to be something that someone else can see. This is for you. Just don't share it with anyone. I mean, you can share parts of it if you were speaking with people, but just keep it sacred to you. I think there's power to that, having things that are just for you. And it also, at least for me, allows me to let go of those limits that I potentially may have on myself and on the world and what I can believe is possible for me and for just generally life. So try creating a scripting letter. And if you feel called, read it out every morning and every night, or at least every night before you go to bed, so that your subconscious mind can be dreaming about it all night as you sleep. I want to share 2 more things with you that you can do when it comes to your dream life. And the first thing I want to share that is also part of the journal is, why not create a vision board? Whether you've created a vision board before, then first of all, you must know the power of it, the beauty of it. But also, if you haven't, I cannot express to you how powerful it can be. Actually, I'm going to insert some clips from the challengers call that we had the other day, the people who are in my community. We started talking about vision boards, and actually one of the girls, she was even sharing, for me, dreaming big is just looks like becoming a mom and, having a garden and things like that. And she was feeling like that's not dreaming big enough. But what I was sharing in the call is that there's no right or wrong way, again, to dream big, just like there's no right or wrong way to journal. Dreaming big, living a big life looks different for every single person. And becoming a mom, that's the toughest job in the world. So whatever your dream big is, don't make you feel wrong for it. But to get back on my topic on the vision board, these beautiful individuals in my community, they shared, the people who had made vision boards previously shared these magical, magnificent stories on how all of these things that they dreamt about coming true. And I think I will insert it in this podcast episode by the end, because it most likely will inspire you to do it as well, because they're just so freaking wild. And it was the same for me when I first made my vision board, my first vision board. The next year, it was crazy how many things just randomly freaking happened. There's something about one's first vision board, and I've been creating vision boards ever since, and things still happen. This year has really been a representation of what my vision board looked like at the beginning of the year. The thing that didn't come true was my YouTube subscribers. But again, as I explained, that was in the previous episode. I explained how the way in which I'm making YouTube videos, it's kind of been draining my energy. Not kind of, it has been draining my energy, the way in which I've been making them. And that is all on me. I know there's a structure, there's a way to do it where it will not drain me as much, but the way in which I've been making YouTube videos, if I had reached that goal of 1 million subscribers, that was a goal I had for a long time, then I would have continuously been stuck in that wheel of doing the videos in the way I'd been doing it, which really made me miserable. The videos turned out good, I think. Most of them, some of them. But the way in which I was doing it, felt miserable. It drained me. So I believe that the universe will bring you what you ask for or something better. And I know that that's something better. I mean, it's already been made. My life right now, even through challenges that I've gone through, especially the past 4 months that I'll open up about in future episodes, but my life as a whole, I'm so grateful. Going back to the vision board, I believe it's because I, along the way, have been building it up in the way I wanted to make my life be and allowed myself to dream big and continuously taken actions, because when I had setbacks or I got denials and no's, if you've listened to my podcast episode where I shared how I've literally gained every single one of my successes, you'll know that for every yes, I got 100 no's. I got 100 rejections. There's been so much to overcome, and there isn't any journey, right? Like when you watch a fairy tale, the hero always goes through so many challenges along the way to reach that final happy ever after. There is no happy ever after in human life, but if we see ourselves as these heroes in these movies, then we're just gonna remind ourselves and know that, yeah, there's gonna be challenges on the way, but I'm gonna be strong enough and I'm gonna get stronger and stronger as I go through these challenges. So all that to say, create a vision board. And I'll share my challengers conversation a little bit later in this episode, because the stories were just beautiful. And I think it'll motivate you to do that. And to make a vision board, there's different ways to do it. But what I like to do is I go on Google, Pinterest, whatever place where I can find images, or Instagram or something like that, where I look at what it is that I want for my dream life. Maybe you have a list of things. Maybe you look at your scripting letter and you just kind of write out a few words that you want to be represented on your vision board. And then I find photos on my vision board where that is represented. Like this year, I wanted to travel a lot. So I had suitcases and like planes, and like I was traveling with my partner. So I had like couples holding hands about to take off. Like that was what I had for my traveling aspect of my vision board. And then I had these different photos for all these different areas of my life. For health and fitness, I had, a bigger glutes because I wanted bigger glutes. And that's something I've also been able to get this year. So just whatever things it is that you want to create for your life, find those photos that represent that, and make sure to just have one photo that represents every area that you feel passionate about. If there's something you don't feel passionate about, you don't obviously have to include that area of your life, but having all of those photos, print them out. You can do the old school route where you cut out things from magazines. I just think it's so much more accurate with like the thousands and thousands and million trillions of photos that are available online to find that exact thing that you want that represents the emotions that you want to feel. And we're going to get to emotions in a moment, because that is something that plays a massive role in the journaling challenge. And I believe in the taking in this future vision to your here and now life. So hold on the emotion things until I complete this thought on vision boards. You print those photos that you have. I just go to a print station. My mom has a printer here. Some people have printers at home. Print it. Get a big board and some tape or some glue and put it together in whatever pretty or unpretty childlike way that you would like. You may want to add some words that represents the life you want to create. And I think you should hang it somewhere that you see it daily. Some people, they want to hide it from, if they're living in a room, a house full of either family or friends or whatever, they want to hide it. But I feel like if the people are... I'm split between this, because I do see that if I was living in Denmark and all my friends from Denmark and family from Denmark would come in and see my vision board, I know their thought on it would be a little like, what is wrong with you? But because I live in America and people are maybe... it's more normal there, or at least my creator friends are maybe more like, oh yeah, of course, you have a weird vision board. We know that this is your weird self. Maybe people in Denmark would say that too. But I am split between this, because I know some of you are just not wanting to share it with the world. However, I prefer putting it on the wall where you see it every day. I have it instead of a TV at home. I have it like where my TV is supposed to be. Like there's like an actual cut for TV. That is where my vision board is. But maybe if you feel like, you don't want everyone to see it, you could put it in your car. You could put it in your closet, in your bathroom, but just make sure to look at it every day. Just so that your subconscious mind is like, yeah, that's a life that I live. Easy peasy. Get it done. I will not stop talking about vision boards. It's powerful, and you will see in a moment when I share those clips as well. But first, I want to share the final little thought with you, which is I want you to ask yourself, when you see and feel this dream life in front of you, what is the 3 key emotions that you feel living that life? Our thoughts and our beliefs create our emotions. And I'm sure you've tried being in maybe not the best of states, moods, but then felt gratitude for something. Maybe something happened, or you sat down and intentionally thought of something you were grateful for, and your mood shifted to a more joyful, peaceful, happy, abundant space. Or something happened and your mood shifted. I want you to ask yourself what the 3 key emotions are. And this is something that I've done every morning. I got it from my life coach, and it's been so wildly transformative for me. As I mentioned in my previous podcast episode, I have tended to stress out sometimes if I didn't get the work done that I wanted to get done. And one of the emotions that I feel and experience in my dream life is peace, and 2 other emotions. And every single morning, I have been asking myself, how would today look if I went throughout my day today and experienced peace? And I would write it out. And I would, throughout the day, remind myself to feel peace. And at night, I would reflect on how did it go? Typically very well. Sometimes if I'm like, oh, I stressed out in that moment. Oh, well, if something like that happens tomorrow, I'm going to stay in my peace. I'm going to make sure to try to stay in my peace. Because as we know, the world can rumble around us, but if Buddha stood in there, he'd be able to maintain his peace. So we could choose, obviously, not to be Buddha. None of us are Buddha. We're not that perfect, but we could actually experience those dream life emotions here and now. We do not need to wait to feel the feelings we want to feel when we get there. This is embarrassing, but let's just share it anyway. I thought once upon a time, before I started my Instagram, if I just get 100,000 Instagram followers, I'm going to be so happy and I'll be so confident and I'll just, all the things I thought would happen for me when I had 100,000 subscribers. I hit 100,000 maybe like 4 years ago now or something like that. So it's a long time ago. And I started dreaming about that maybe a couple of years before I hit 100,000. I think I started my Instagram account maybe 2 years prior to me hitting 100,000 subscribers. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong with the timeline, but something like that. So I used to, younger me thought that. When I hit 100,000, yeah, it was cool. But the fact that I had 100,000 Instagram followers made no difference to my life. What did make an impact in my life, what did bring me joy was my daily routines, my daily creations, my daily connection with my community. Yes, that brought me joy. But it wasn't the fact of the specific number. And I feel like throughout my life, I'll have these goals, or I've had these goals of wanting something. And again, when I've reached it, realized, it wasn't actually that brought me joy, but the daily habits and routines that got me there. Now I've realized that, for example, podcasting, I love it. I love sitting right here talking to you. And I love when I have guests on the pod. I love being guests on other people's podcasts. I love podcasting. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I used to also really love making YouTube videos, but the way in which I started making it so complex and storylining and wanting to create a full-on 3-month journey, or maybe sometimes 30-day journey, and having this whole storyline and including all these different things and tools I learned from going through all these YouTube courses, it took away some of my joy from it. I'm sure I can get it back if I find the right approach, like I've mentioned a couple of times, but why did I even start talking about this? Yes, reaching the goal, like if I had reached the 1 million subscribers, wouldn't actually have brought me joy unless I love and enjoy the journey of getting there. And that's also why I think I haven't hit 1 million subscribers, because I'm not supposed to do that, because the journey isn't fun for me right now. I need to find, if I'm supposed to do that, if that's how I'm supposed to impact 1 million people's lives, then the journey has to be fun for me. The daily, day-to-day life has to be enjoyable and fun for me to actually make an impact in these people's lives. Because if I'm miserable, how in the world am I going to impact other people in a way that is supposed to make them happy, right? We can only help other people in the way that we've been able to help ourselves. So all of that to say that, yes, it was easier for me to connect with my community, create these videos and do my, let's say, Instagram when I had more followers. But really, the day-to-day tasks and way of me creating and living my life was the same when I had one follower on Instagram. Of course, I got better at it and it became my job at one point, but it wasn't at first. But I still had that same joy and inspiration and fun with creating everything that I was creating and connecting with the people who I was connecting with in the beginning of my journey as when I, let's say, hit 100,000 Instagram followers. So all of that to say, what are the key emotions that you are going to feel and experience in your dream life? Because if you choose to every day ask yourself, which is one of the things you'll be doing if you join my January Transformation Challenge or any of my challenges, you'll get this journal and you can start this journal at any time during the year. Like it does not have to be on January 1st. I just thought it was, pretty good. Or January 6th is when we have our first call. And then January 7th is when we start the workouts and the weekly routines. But you can start this journal on January 1st, or you can start it in August or October or March, whenever. We don't have to be in the beginning of the year to start setting these goals and create this vision and start working towards the things that we deep down want in life. But I just thought for January 1st, it was a fun thing to create and get to every single day connect with that future dream life that you deep down want to live, and also just get uber clear on what that is for you. But whether you join this challenge and have this journal, or you in your journal every day ask yourself, what will my life look like today if I feel at peace? Let's say abundant, I feel bold, I feel whatever emotions it is that you want to feel in your dream life, or you will be experiencing once you've accomplished all these big dreams that you want to have. Because what I experienced when I started doing this was I'm already living it. I'm already living the dream life because I feel it every day. I'm living in these feelings. And some days, obviously, it's easier than others, but I found it way easier than I would have thought. So try it out. And now, if I have not yet clarified the power of vision board and getting super clear on what it is that you want for this year, for the next 3 years, however long you decide to dream for, listen to this challengers call where these beautiful individuals share their stories.
It's the first time that I felt that I want to try and make a vision board. I've never made a vision board before.
In the new journal, I tell people to do it. I say it's optional,
Yeah.
but I guide people. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So I just want to try, but I've struggled a little bit because I guess I will have to put things that I'm dreaming of doing in the upcoming year, but I have to also figure out some ways to accomplish them. And I got to admit, I'm a bit afraid to dream big because I'm afraid that I'm going to disappoint myself. I don't want to end up at the end of 2025 not be able to tick anything off my vision board. That's the reason that I've never made one. I'm afraid of disappointment.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
What's the worst thing that can happen if you dream about something big and it doesn't happen?
Oh, nothing. Like just that it won't happen. Maybe I am projecting, well, let's say I want to go for a trip, for example, by the end of 25. Let's say something, I don't know, Australia, far away from here. Let's say I want to go to Australia. And at the end of 25, well, I cannot take that. So I will feel that I did not keep this promise to myself and that I'm a little bit incapable of imagining something and do it. Like, I think that's what I would believe about myself.
Let's say it doesn't happen. You didn't do it.
Yeah.
Could you then, in December 2025, ask yourself, what were the reasons that this didn't happen? Oh, it was because I didn't save up $200 every month that I was supposed to have. Okay, how can I make sure to do that this year so that it happens next year? So instead of it being a disappointment, it's a learning lesson that, oh, it's actually not that I'm incapable. It's not that I'm unworthy. I just forgot this little piece, which was I needed to save up money, or I needed to make space in my calendar, or I needed to whatever it was that I needed to do.
I love that. And actually, what I'm thinking about now is that what I would love to change about the way I'm thinking is the way I'm thinking. Like this, that what you said is a very positive aspect of a negative thing that happened. I would love to be able one day to do that and not dive into the negativity of the situation, not go there, so I am incapable or blah 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 blah, and just try to, yeah, that's what I had.
The first thing you said was, I will believe that, and then you didn't finish the sentence. But the cool thing is, you're always capable of choosing what you believe. So whenever you catch yourself, let's say, then I will believe I'm not capable, you can always change that belief. What do I want to believe? I want to believe that I'm more than capable. Okay, I'll choose to believe that. And how do I align my actions with that?
Okay, vision board is like, be positive. That's
Yeah.
the vision board.
And I cannot, like, now that you were saying that you were afraid to dream too big, like, don't be afraid of that. Just make the vision board massive, and you may just be like overwhelmingly surprised. And you mentioned something you said was, but I have to figure out how to do that. And yes, of course, there's like we can't just, it's not like The Secret, the movie. You probably all watched that, where it's like, just think your way to $1 million and it's going to happen. Of course, we need to align our actions with it. But when you make a vision board, you do not need to have the plan behind how you can do it, because there's so much magic in this world. And it's just about little things that have to align and add up. And yeah.
I think that was my initial question. Does it need to be realistic? I
No.
mean, that's my, yeah.
I love this topic. Sorry, I lost my voice this week. I think I got what Eva got. Um, you have to see it, because have you ever been on a cruise before? They have a destination. You
Ah.
know when you're getting on the boat where it's going. The captain knows exactly where he's going, and you have this destination along the way. But if you yourself don't know where you're going, you're never going to take the actions necessary as you course correct to get there, because you don't even know where you're going. And so, like, some of the things like that I've put on my vision board in 2023, I'd been out of the country once, and I was like, I want to go to 10 cities and 2 countries. I have like 2 weeks paid time vacation or whatever, 1 week, something like that. And I went to 8 countries and like 20 cities. I don't know how that worked, but I was just like, I'm going to make this obnoxious goal and make it happen. And I was just like, it worked. I had zero idea in January that those things would happen, but I knew what I wanted. And I was like, oh, this works. And so that was like a big scale of like traveling. But I've seen it happen with like stupid stuff. Like, I want a front row parking spot. It's because I knew what I wanted. I want to walk into a restaurant and somebody give me a drink. I'm like, that happens more often. If you're around me and you go to like a place, like, I will get free food or free drinks. It's because that's what I want. And so, like, it just kind of happens, but you have to know what you want. And so whatever it is, don't let anybody tell you be realistic. None of that stuff's realistic. None of it. But if you know what you want, majority of people just don't know what they want. So they don't know how to say yes when the opportunity happens. So paint a really cool picture.
That was fire.
Yes.
Here's my question. Like, how do you dream big? Like, even in your journaling challenge, you say like imagine how you want your life to look like with no limitations, like really like dream big, like anything can happen. Like I write things like have kids, have a backyard.
Oh.
Like
That's
like,
beautiful.
the only thing like I don't know, I do not know how to dream big. Like the things I write is like work out every day, like majority of my
That's
life.
not big. That is big. Every
Is
single
it?
person's dreams look different. Some people, their biggest dream is to be able to live on a farm, take care of the animals,
Yeah.
have a dog and a partner to share that life
Yeah.
with. For them, that is their dream life. Others, I want to be a
Right.
millionaire and fly private jets and have Ferraris. And someone else is like, I want to be able to work from anywhere in the world so that I can live in
Right.
different places. I just want to become the best mother I can. That is
Yeah, I
my
think that's
vision
mine.
of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's
Okay.
no right or wrong. Dreaming big
Okay.
is so different for every person. That's the beauty of it, I think.
Okay. Because sometimes I feel like I'm like, am I just not creative enough or am I not like looking to get more out of life? I'm already like 9 out of 10 happy with my life or like 9.5 out of 10 happy with my life. But then yeah, sometimes I'm like, well, am I just like easily satisfied?
That's
I don't know.
beautiful. Think of how many people would wish they could say that. And I know you, so
Yeah.
I also know it's because you've worked for it and you keep working for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if something isn't right, you actually put in
Mhm.
the work to scale it up, right? So,
Right. That's true. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a really cool perspective, because you said 9.5 out of 10. Like, you're already there. Like, I have friends that dream of private planes, and like they're at that spot to be able to do that. Like for me, that's so far-fetched, but I'm like, do I even want that? No. At the moment, I'm like, I would just rather have a private driver. Like, I don't know, when you were saying like what drains you, I'm like, driving. I do not want to drive. I'm like, could I do that with a private driver or Uber? Like I could. Both. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like what brings you peace, and like what would just add a positive increase to your life. And it's like that's the piece that's dreaming big.
I want to add something to what everyone says, because this is amazing. Like, Emily, what you said, like everything I'm doing, like this challenge, everything on my vision board is leading to me being a good mother at some point, because to me,
Yeah.
that is the biggest job on the planet. And if I were to be a mother, I know I would have checked so many things before, because I'm like, I need to have this for my child, and I need to be stable enough. And I mean, like, just that one picture entitles so many other things. Like, I think I stopped dreaming big for like the past decade, and then the last year I was like, you know what, just gonna dream. I am an Africa child who's made it here, so I'm already at 9 out of 10, like you said, so I'm just gonna dream even bigger. And I was like, Eva, I didn't even do the vision board complicated. I did it on my phone, and I had it as a screensaver, just literally on my notes in the iPhone. Like, I had the worst dating life, worse than Taylor Swift album. Like, it was bad. And what I would picture, not I want to go on a nice date or I want to meet a decent guy. No, I picked a couple happily with their kid, and I imagine in my life I'm gonna meet my soulmate, and then we're gonna get married, and it's gonna be like a fairy tale story. He's gonna see me and he's gonna know. Now, me, I would have never believed this in a million years. I never even believed in marriage. I made that vision board, I think, October the year before, and this July I got married to the soulmate and love of my life. And if I would have, like, this is for me like secret style, like this is the first story that happened from that vision board, where I would have been like, who gets married after I'm like, who does this is insane. And like, it's insane, like even finding someone like him, as with the same background, we live in different countries, we made the craziest thing work. Like, he is my best friend in the world. I didn't even know this kind of love exists. So this is number one, where I'm like, how is it real life? Number two, I always dreamt of having my own talk show. What do I do for a job? I have the most corporate job at Google. Marketing, it's all about money. I pick a picture of like a huge host, like literally Oprah Winfrey of the Arabic world. And I visualize myself having the best outfits and a huge camera, interviewing people, connecting one-to-one. And everything in my head was like, how do you think this is gonna happen? Like, you work in marketing, you work for Google, your job is to make money. I think it was this September, my manager comes to me like in this development talk that you have, and she's like, what do you really want to do? And I'm like, you know me, like I used to plan volunteering days and everything about diversity and inclusion, like in our job I would do. And she's like, what is your big dream? And I wouldn't dare, like if I wouldn't dare to say it out loud, because it means like I fail myself. And I'm like, if I'm honest with you, I'm all about people. Like I think at Google, people who work here are amazing and have amazing stories, and no one gets to hear them unless they're leaving the company. They send one email, and I want to interview them. I want to hear how they got here, and I want to have the humans of our organization instead of humans of New York. And she's like, yeah, what's stopping you? Pitch it to the management. And I don't know how that happened. Fast forward, in September, I'm sitting in the studio with 4 people, technical team, asking me, what is your vision? Where do you want your camera to be? Me interviewing people from all over the globe. And I was like, this is madness. If anyone had told me this is real life, I would laugh at them. I am all by numbers and data and showcase me and like forecast. And I find myself in the most corporate job having my own talk show at one of the biggest companies in the world, interviewing VPs who sit everywhere. And I'm like, I was just dreaming, like, how am I even doing this? And I think until now I have to pinch myself. But no one can stop me from vision boards ever again. Now I have crazy houses on them, and I know I don't want a private jet because I'm like all for sustainability and like lower what's happening. But I'm like, let's just joke. Like, let's just try it. If someone as stupid as like, let's just do it. I had to share it, Eva, because just put whatever picture that comes to your mind there, and forget about it. You need no plan. You need zero plan. God has a plan, or universe, or whatever you want to call it. I promise, like Grace said, if you really, really want it deep down and you don't even know, you have good intentions about wanting it, because I didn't want power. I wanted to connect people and I wanted unconditional love. So the universe was like, that's a cute girl. Let's give it to her. Like, why not?
I feel like anyone that hasn't made a vision board just got, like, I want to make a new one now. Even though I made one like 2 months ago.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. And I'm gonna dream.
It just gives so much. I feel, for me at least, it just motivates you, it inspires you, it makes you think differently. Like, these conversations for me are just beautiful. It's so cool to be a part of. I hope this inspired you to try some of these exercises. Maybe you're going to want to re-listen to this podcast episode and go through these exercises. Maybe you're going to want to join my January Transformation Challenge or any of my future challenges where you also will get this journal and all my workouts, my nutrition, my recipes, and all these other journals that I've developed over time. Join my community. I'll put all the links in the description, and I hope you take some time to actually go do it, because it is powerful and you deserve it. You freaking deserve it. And if you found this podcast episode valuable, I hope you want to share it with a friend and rate me, give me some stars, and write something if you found it useful. I hope you enter this new year with such excitement and hopes and big dreams. Allow yourself to dream big. Like, really question yourself on, like, am I dreaming big enough? What would I really deep down want for my life? Like, what would be the coolest thing ever? Because only when we like really put down those limits can we see what comes through the doors into our minds. And you deserve to live a freaking awesome life, whatever that looks like for you. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, remember that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge your norm. Bye.